Welcome back. Hey guys, welcome back to Anchor Youth. It's dog night.
Yeah, dog night.
Woo! This is my special guest, Uncle Cookie.
Hello.
He's going to be going through what's happening tonight.
Yes. So welcome back to Anchor Youth for Friday nights, dogs only night. So we'll be live in T-minus 3 minutes. So get ready, grab your Bible, your pen, something to write on, and share the link for this YouTube video with your friends. And also make sure to update your Zoom so that it works when we go into breakout groups later. Make sure to comment in the chat. We're doing dog bones tonight because dogs only night, or just dogs, whichever one you want. And that's about it. Have we got anything else on tonight, Andy?
Well, that's pretty much it for right now. We're just welcoming you guys.
Yeah.
We'll be back in about 1.3
We'll be back
1.3
soon.
minutes. So yeah, love you guys. See ya.
Three, two, one.
Oh, we're back! Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to Anchor Youth Live here on Friday night. I'm Andy, and I'm your host tonight, and we have our very good, very special friend here, special guest, Uncle Lachlan.
Thank you, Uncle Mr. Teacher Thode.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
So, as we've said before, tonight is dog night. I have, lucky enough, brought my dog Kurt Slade tonight. He's over there helping us tonight. Pardon me. I've got something in my throat. But, so, dog night. Dog only night. Do you have a dog?
Dogs only. That's a complicated answer. I'll say no.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, can you chuck your favourite dog name ever in the chat?
Oh.
Rex. I think Rex is a great dog
Rex.
name. Yeah.
Like Buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
cat
Yeah.
Meow Meow. So we actually have Meow Meow and Wow Wow, our two friends here tonight.
Yeah, and Hulk Smash.
Hulk Smash, best dog of them all. And we're actually, speaking of Kurt, he's doing our talk tonight. We're talking about the prophesied kingdom. We've looked at God's big story, and tonight we're looking at prophesied kingdom. So that's awesome. Chuck some bones in the chat for that. Would you like to pray to kick us off, Uncle Lockie?
Yes, please adopt an attitude of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you that we could all gather tonight. Pray for awesome, fun, dogs only content, and that we can hear more about you and your kingdom. Amen.
Amen. So we're going to kick it off to our second best news. Got something in my throat. Second best news team of Anchor Youth, John and Alec, in the morning, up late.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
I did.
All right, well, welcome to John and Alec in the morning, up late. I'm Alec.
And I'm John.
It's so good to see you all again. This week is going to be so great. John, I prepared Pet of the Week as our first segment this week.
Fantastic.
I'm going to get straight into
it. It is Dog Week this week here at Youth, and I'm just really excited to hear what dog you have lined up.
Is what now? Is what week? Huh?
You didn't get my email?
I did not, and
Okay.
I picked the wrong week to branch out, John.
Well, what kind of dog are we dealing with here?
A smaller one,
Like
in a way.
Chihuahua? Like a...
No, not quite.
Like a...
I'm thinking more rabbit-shaped. Dog.
I see.
Well,
Well, I'm excited either way. Let's roll the clip.
Oh, see, that was great. I mean,
That
it
was
wasn't
cute.
no dogs, but
It wasn't a dog, but I'm not complaining.
you won't catch me, buddy, complaining nothing. That was good fun. Thank you again to the Blights and to the Whitakers, and of course, thank you.
Esther and Chandler for being on our show.
Great to have them. I hope that they're all at home, cuddling up, getting nice and warm, and watching the show right now. Now, before the show, you flagged an issue with me.
I did. We just can't keep calling Eilish each week. We've got to do something different.
Look, I agree. It was funny for a bit, but it's not fair that we just call Eilish every single week to do an interview. I promised her. I said, Eilish, I promise John and I will not call you again this week.
So who are we calling?
Hi Eilish, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Oh, no.
Hi. Oh, it's so good to have you on. How are you?
I'm good.
Great. So, as you know, we're here with John and Alec in the morning, up late, and I've got my very special guest here, Eilish. Eilish, what have you been up to today?
Not much. I've been doing some uni assignments, some Animal Crossing.
Right, very good. How's Grey's Anatomy? How's the hospital?
I haven't watched it in a while.
Ooh, a bit of controversy being stuck into the Spider-Man. I see. Now, what we thought would be really fun this week is if you could give us a Cribs-esque tour of your room. So, Eilish, why don't you show us around your crib?
Oh, it's a bit messy, but okay. This is my bed. This is my cat.
Oh.
Don't put that on the table. This is my wardrobe. That's my room.
What secrets lie behind? As you know, we have a recurring thing. We ask our guests, do you prefer cats or dogs? Now tell us, do you prefer cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs. All right. Now, John, why don't you just quickly pan around the room, see what we got? Interesting. Now, if you'll come over, I noticed that we got something in this little bin here. Oh. Now, what did you tell us about this little guy?
That's a toy dog that I got for Christmas from my sister.
That's nice. And that's in that bin face down while the cat's over there.
I was cleaning up. I also have this pillow.
Who was, by the way, in a better spot than Eilish was when we got here, so...
I also have this pillow that Jan got me.
Oh.
I got you that. Speaking of me, do you like my socks?
Oh, they're nice.
They're Spider-Man.
Cool.
Great. Well, Eilish, it's been so good to see you. We'd love to have you on another time. Obviously, very busy schedules both ways. But thanks for inviting us into your crib. Back to you, John and Alec.
I didn't invite you.
Oh, thank you, Eilish, for joining us. Great segment. I absolutely loved it. Now, John, you have been bothering me for the last 2 weeks. I want to do a cooking segment. Here we are. We're doing your cooking segment. What do you got for us?
I'm so excited to show you guys a family secret of mine, a healthy start to the day, a little twist on the regular cereal.
Oh, interesting. What does this twist bring?
It brings energy that lasts the entire day, non-stop. And the best part is, it's healthy.
What? This sounds too good to be true. I gotta see this.
Well, you gotta start with your bowl, of course.
Oh, okay, because you're using this because it's dog week. That's why you're using the dog dish, right?
Yes, of course. Well, then you want to move on to your milk. And as you can see, I got this for cheap because the lid's a little messed up.
So we're starting with the milk.
Yeah. Well, I know it's a little controversial. How am I going to pour this? It's a little controversial. But, well, say in the chat whether you prefer milk first or cereal first. Let me know. I like to fill it up about 3/4 of the way.
Oh, right.
All right, and then we're going to move on to the main ingredient, which is Fruit Loops.
Okay. So we're using the Kellogg's Fruit Loops, obviously the classic. John, just for us at home wondering, what if we wanted to use an alternative like a non-name brand, maybe an Aldi or a home brand sort of thing? Is it acceptable?
Don't you dare bring up any other brand of Fruit Loops in front of these Kellogg's. You have no idea what my family has been through preserving this recipe for years. My nan, if she caught you mentioning those other brands, punishable by death.
Where's your family from that they're so serious?
Loftus. So what we want to do is pour those straight into the bowl. Get all the different kinds of fruits in there. You see the green ones and orange ones and yellow ones and
You don't
purple
really know
ones.
the name of the fruits there.
No, and while, a little fun thing to do on the side is you can always find Toucan Sam. Let me know if you can see him. Oh, that was easy. Now, best part is, if you want the crunchy ones, keep them on top. Little soggy ones, let them little simmer underneath there.
Right.
And then you just get to eat.
And that's it.
That's it.
Okay. That's a healthy breakfast, you say? I've noticed that you're instantly sweating there, dude.
good. It's healthy. You got the health from the strawberry milk. And strawberry makes it healthier because it's got fruit inside the milk.
Uh-huh.
And then you got little Fruit Loops.
Dude, you are really sweating.
It's good. It'll last energy throughout the day. This is that sugar boost you need to last.
Great. Oh, well, thanks, John, for bringing us a piece of your family culture. I hope you guys are all having a great time.
This
As
is
we're
too
home
much.
more and we're learning to cook more. I'm glad that we can bring our knowledge to you. Let us know your fantastic creations at home. We'd love to hear about it. Until the next time, we're going to head back to John and Alec. Take it away, guys. Oh, well,
Drinks break?
yeah, let's... Well, John, that's all the time we have for. Well, John, what's next on the show?
That's it.
Oh,
Bye.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks, Alec and John, for more cooking segments and whatever else, looking at dumb rabbits and stuff. So we had a few great names here. The first one was Jack Faulkner, great name for a dog. Mia was right. There should not be any boys and girls rooms. I would like to point that out. Here at Engadine Anglican Church, we do not like boys and girls rooms unless there are rings on each other's fingers. That's pretty
Yeah,
much.
on both parties' fingers, mind you. Yep.
So pointing that one out. Thanks, Mia, keeping us accountable. Sam asked what this was. This is our fire evacuation plan, just in case anything goes wrong tonight. And you're up about the next segment. What's going on after this?
We've got Mr. Jerome, the Mr. Gnome. We got to find out where he is tonight.
So we're going to be looking at you. You got a comment on YouTube where Jerome is and what he's doing from the sound that is going on, I think, in the background.
That's right.
The first person to get both correctly in the YouTube comments is the winner. And they actually win a $10,000 schnoodle.
Yeah, Kurt,
a
how much
schnoodle
money you
puppy.
got left in your fund, the Kurt Fund for Humanity?
About $75.
$75,000.
That's going to buy a schnoodle puppy.
There you go. You could buy any poodle mixed with that kind of dough.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah.
A poodle pug. What do you call that? A puddle?
A puddle.
A puddle.
There you go, puddle.
Puggle.
A muggle.
A muggle. So we're going to jump into Jerome the Gnome now.
Oh wow,
Oh, we're still on. Oh.
So he's in colour in black and white, so this is in the 50s. If he gets the year, you get extra points.
Dude, I think. I reckon we're looking at British Columbia.
Yeah. Where's that?
Oh, Disneyland.
Caribbean. We've got some smoke pipes, they industrial
Oh.
sort of
Water's summer home. I like that.
summer villa.
The summer villa.
Yeah. There you go.
And counting money, that's my guess. Thanks, Waters. Jerome the Gnome, where was he and what was he doing?
Yeah.
Hit us up in the YouTube comments. We have Filthy Puggles from John. That's not right.
Filthy puggles.
We have Tap Dancing India from Angus. Thanks, bro. I don't think that's right. Have we got any? Do we know who's won yet?
I'm not sure, but Andy, you have a big announcement, don't you?
What about?
If we get 75 likes, Andy will shave his head next week on camera.
75 likes. Get that YouTube
75.
to 75
Yeah,
likes.
make secondary accounts if you need to. We just need to get the number there by any means necessary.
75 likes and I'll shave my head. Actually, behind you, we still have Jock's hair up in the lizard's mouth. You can't even really see it, but it's there.
I didn't know that was there.
That's an ode to Jock. We love Jock.
There we go.
So, have we got a winner yet? Congrats, Andy. I don't really know why you congrats me.
Angus Wheatley.
Angus Wheatley won. Can we get bones in the
Angus.
chat for Angus Wheatley? You've won whatever type of puggle you want. So we're going to transition now into a dogs only theme. Dogs only.
Dog, hopefully.
Yeah. And we've
Some
got
real dogs this time.
yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
We've got our good friends Sam and Lauren. They're hopefully playing with their dogs. So Nick and Joel, can't wait to see you guys playing with your sisters. That's awesome. Because you're both dogs. Should jump on into the theme.
Hey NTU, I'm Sam. I'm Lauren. And this is Tagi and Georgie. And this is Dogs Only Night.
Okay, done.
Hello NTU, I'm Sam. I'm Lauren. And this is Dogs Only Night. You go for a walk. You go for a walk. Can you sit? Sit. Good girl.
Dog night.
Yeah, well, that was very wholesome for this this long Queen weekend. Is that what it is?
Those weren't the dogs that I was expecting.
No. I was expecting like smaller ones that like eat carrots with their front teeth and stuff.
A wolf.
Woof woof.
Dog night. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Lauren. Beautiful puppies you have there. I love watching dogs frolic in the water and play with other dogs. That was nice to see. What a world we live in, where you can run on a beach with the dog.
It's pretty amazing. You wouldn't have ever woken up and thought you could go outside and do that sort of thing.
Yeah, seriously.
You
Especially in today's day and age. But so, we've got lots of people saying this is the greatest youth night of all time. I disagree. As a cat person myself, I believe cats frolic in the water on the beach would be the way to go. But
Yeah, just strap a harness on it, drag it through the water.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
There you go.
We're actually going to do some trivia now with Sam and Lauren again. So, have we got a winner yet? Okay,
I've got a piece of trivia for you, Andy. Who played Lightning McQueen in Cars 2?
Matthew McConaughey.
So, incorrect. We'll find out after the break.
We're going to play a game of dog trivia for our next segment. So we've got Georgie and Tagi here, and we're going to ask you guys some questions. So Sam and I are going to take turns reading out questions, and the first person to guess the right answer in the chat will get a shout out from our MCs afterwards. So we'll be taking note of who gets the correct answer the fastest, and we're also going to read you the right answers now as well. Hey! So Sam's going to kick us off. I'm just going to read a question.
All right, so question number 1 is, what is the fastest breed of dog? Is it A, the Swedish Vallhund, B, the Greyhound, C, the German Spritz, or D, the Harrier?
Ooh, the fastest breed.
Yeah, apparently this breed can run up to 45 miles or 72 kilometers an hour.
That is fast.
Yeah.
All right, what's the answer? Drum roll.
The answer was B, the Greyhound.
The Greyhound, there you go. All right, next question. Question number 2. How many eyelids does a dog have? A, 3, B, 0, C, 7, or D, 1? How many eyelids?
No idea.
Well, apparently they have 3 eyelids. So they have an upper lid, a lower lid, and a third lid, which is called the, I don't even know how to say it, nictitating membrane.
There you go. Learn something new every day. Okay, question number 3 is, what is the only dog that can't bark?
Can't bark.
Of these dog breeds. A, the Basenji. B, the Saluki. C, the Pet. Or D, the Borosy.
She's gone.
Make a howling, whatever dog this is, apparently they make a howling, a yodeling kind of sound.
A yodeling? A yodeling dog? I want to meet one of these dogs.
Apparently. Well, the answer is A, the Basenji. Apparently it's an African hunting dog.
An African hunting dog. There you go. And they yodel, they don't bark. Okay, next question. Georgie, you're going to ask this question. Next question is, how old was the world's oldest dog? The oldest dog. Is it A, 33, B, 29, C, 24, or D, 27? Now, if you don't know, dogs don't live usually above about 15. So 33, 29, 24, or 27.
That's a lot of dog years if you do remember.
It's a lot of dog years, yeah. So what is it? You times it by 7 for a dog year?
Yes, that's like at least 140.
Well, the answer is 29. The oldest dog to ever live was 29.
That is wild.
That is wild.
That's 200 years.
203 years. That is a really old dog.
That is next level. What is the smallest dog breed?
Smallest.
Is it A, the Pomeranian? Yeah. B, the Chihuahua. C, a Jack Russell Terrier. Or D, the Dachshund?
Ooh. They're all pretty small dogs.
Yeah. Apparently it is B, the Chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
They can weigh as little as 4 pounds. I don't even know what that is in kilos. Or be as short as 6 inches, which is
6 inches?
Is that
You're much bigger than 6 inches, Georgie. Okay, next question. What breed of dog has the longest ears?
Ooh.
Is it A, the Polish Hound, B, the Shih Tzu, C, the Basset Hound, or D, the Siberian Husky? The dog with the longest ears. I think out of all dogs, Georgie wins with the longest tongue.
Yes.
World's longest tongue, but longest ears.
I don't know.
No? Well, the longest ear dog is the Basset Hound, and their ears measure 13 inches. They're
13
so long, 13 inches. They're so long that sometimes they trip over them while they walk.
That's like double the size of a chihuahua.
Oh, yeah! Just the ears.
Alone. That's so funny. There you go.
Yeah, no.
Or if that kind of like is a barrier to hearing because you can't.
True. Yeah, can they hear really well or can they not hear at all?
Apparently, I heard that dogs can smell 2 different things out of their nostrils.
What?
Maybe fact check that.
Like, one each.
Hi, Georgie. Hi.
Oh. What's wrong?
Next question is, how many times are dogs mentioned in the Bible?
In the Bible?
Is it? Yeah. Is it A, 45, B, 11, C, 0, or D, 29?
Ooh. I reckon it's more than 0.
Yeah. Apparently, it is 29 times.
29 times?
Yeah.
There you go.
And are not mentioned at and cats are not mentioned at all in the Bible. So I think that might tell you something.
Yeah, dogs are definitely the more biblical animal.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
All right, last question. How many dogs survived the sinking of the Titanic? A, 1, B, 0, C, 7, or D, 3? How many survived? So not how many were on the Titanic, but how many survived the sinking of the Titanic?
Oh, so definitely more than 0. That's surprising. I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, the answer is 3 dogs. So 3 dogs, all from first-class cabins, survived the sinking of the Titanic.
No way.
Imagine that. How crazy is that?
That's crazy.
Georgie, say bye. Say bye, Taggy. You say bye. Oh, I know.
So cute. Oh my goodness.
Like, oh.
And we're back.
Oh, wow.
Dogs.
Dogs.
I just want to straight away say there actually are cats in the Bible.
Yeah, confirmed.
Lions are cats. So Sam, you got that wrong. I'm sorry. But taking it back to game number 1, Mr. Faulkner, the jockey himself,
Oh,
he won with 9. There were 9 other dogs.
he's turning into quite the nerd, hey?
See,
What is this a bit of a paradox in the system? Like,
Jack beating up Jock, confirmed.
yeah,
Uh,
can't beat up himself. How's that work?
Owen Wilson is the Cars
Owen
2
Wilson
narrator.
is Lightning McQueen.
Who knew?
That's right.
In not only Cars 2, but Cars 1 and Cars 3.
Also, does Lightning McQueen get life insurance or car insurance? That's the big question I need answered tonight, if any question gets answered, I think.
Seriously. But enough of the silliness. We're actually going to jump into the talk now. So get up, shake out the crazies if you want, do whatever. But get your Bible out, get your pens out, get some paper out to write. And Slade's going to bring us the good news tonight. So heat it up, Slade. Have some fun.
Hey guys, I'm Kurt, leader of the Year 10 Boys, and I'm going to continue to take us through God's big story. So far this term, we have looked at how God created the world and made people to rule over it, and that it was good. We've seen that humans were unable to obey God and brought sin into the world, thus ruining God's good creation. We have heard of the promises that God made to his people to reverse the curses of sin and to re-establish his good kingdom. And last week, we heard how these promises have been partially fulfilled. The Israelites have now grown into a nation. They have their own land, and they have blessings through God's covenant and by obeying the law. The Israelites are prospering. They are flourishing. During the time of King David and his son, King Solomon, God's people are obedient to him and receive blessing because of this. This time can be considered as a high point in Israel's history. But this doesn't last forever. The kings and people of Israel continuously disobey the law and break God's covenant, even after many clear warnings from God. They follow other gods, and because of this disobedience, judgment and curses are brought onto Israel. The nation is split in two, and God allows other nations to take his people. If what we saw last week was considered a high point of Israel's history, this would be Israel's lowest. This period of Israel's history is what we're going to look at this week, the prophesied kingdom. During this time, God spoke to his people through prophets. At this point, the people of Israel will be wondering if God will be just at the expense of his faithfulness to the promises to Abraham, or if he will be merciful to the point of being unjust for simply looking past the horrible sins they've committed. In the Bible, there are 17 prophetic books. For reference, this is the approximate thickness of those combined books. So tonight, my aim is to summarize all the prophets, and I'll do this by looking at the development of God's promises to Abraham within these 17 books. We'll look at the three main promises. 1, people. 2, land. And thirdly, rule and blessing. So firstly, people. Although God has brought terrible judgment upon his people, he will not completely destroy them. In Isaiah 10, 20-21, we see that God will save a remnant which he will make into a new nation. Isaiah says, "In that day, the remnant of Israel, the survivors of Jacob, will no longer rely on him who struck them down, but will truly rely on the Lord, the Holy One of Israel. A remnant will return. A remnant of Jacob will return to the mighty God." During this period, the nation of Israel had already split in two. The northern kingdom had been exiled to Assyria, and the southern kingdom are facing a similar problem as the threat of the Assyrians grows stronger, and they will soon face exile in Babylon. But there is still hope. Those of his people who stop their disobedience and instead rely on God will be saved, and he will create a new nation out of these people. Think of it like pruning a tree. Dead and diseased branches are cut off, leaving only healthy branches, meaning the tree can continue to grow healthy. This new nation, however, will not only include Israel. This nation will be made up of people from all nations. We hear this later on in Isaiah 49, verse 6. He says, "I will also make you a light for the Gentiles, that my salvation may reach to the ends of the earth." God promises that at some point in the future, he will raise up a servant from the remnant who will enable salvation to be offered to more than just the Jews. God's blessing will extend to all nations. The promise to Abraham of blessing to all the nations will be fulfilled. All people will benefit when God acts to save Israel. And secondly, we'll see what is happening to God's promise of place. Last week we heard that God's dwelling place was going to be in a house or temple built by one of David's descendants, and Solomon built that temple. But that temple was destroyed when the Babylonians invaded and exiled Israel. But when Persia eventually take over the Babylonians, they let Israel return and rebuild their temple. And when they do, we see two different reactions in Ezra 3, verse 12. Those who were born in exile rejoiced at its completion, but those who were older and wiser and remembered the former temple, they wept, as it was only a shadow of what it once was. For the Israelites, this would have been like one of those expectation versus reality moments. Think of it in terms of like baking a cake. The older and wiser Israelites were expecting something like this. But what they got was more like this. And then you had the younger Israelites who were just happy that they baked a cake. See, the elders knew that while this was movement in the right direction, it wasn't the fulfillment of God's promise to David, because God also promised to build a house or temple for David, and the elders knew that this couldn't be the temple because it was worse than what the Israelites built under Solomon and looked nothing like the temple Ezekiel sees in his vision in Ezekiel 40 to 48. But the prophets don't only speak of a new temple to come, but of a whole new creation. Listen to this statement by God to Isaiah the prophet. See, I will create a new heavens and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind. But be glad and rejoice forever in what I will create. For I will create Jerusalem to be a delight, and its people a joy. God's plan of salvation is not limited to people, but extends to all of creation. God the Creator is set on entirely undoing the effects of the fall, of sin. This Jerusalem is not an earthly city, but a new everlasting creation without sin that is heaven. And lastly, we see God's promise concerning his rule and blessing. In these prophets, we discover that God will make a new unbreakable covenant or promise with his people. The prophet Jeremiah tells us about this new covenant in Jeremiah 31, 31 to 34.
The days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the people of Israel and with the people of Judah. It will not be like the covenant I made with their ancestors when I took them by the hand to lead them out of Egypt, because they broke my covenant, though I was a husband to them, declares the Lord. This is the covenant I will make with the people of Israel after that time, declares the Lord. I will put my law in their minds and write it on their hearts. I will be their God, and they will be my people. No longer will they teach their neighbor or say to one another, Know the Lord, because they will all know me, from the least of them to the greatest, declares the Lord. For I will forgive their wickedness and will remember their sins no more.
In it, he tells us the new covenant won't be like the old one, because Israel couldn't keep the old covenant. They kept breaking God's first commandment, not to mention the 10 commandments and all the laws based on them. In this new covenant, God is going to make sure they keep the covenant, and as a result, they'll be blessed with all the blessings that come from knowing God personally and deeply, the blessings of living rightly in God's world and under his rule. You might already have guessed how this new covenant will come about. It will come about in the new king, through Jesus, through his life, death, and resurrection. Isaiah tells us in Isaiah 9, 6-7 of this promise of a new king, of the rule and blessing this new king will bring.
For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the greatness of his government and peace there will be no end. He will reign on David's throne and over his kingdom, establishing and upholding it with justice and righteousness, from that time on and forever. The zeal of the Lord Almighty will accomplish this.
Through this new king, who is a descendant of David, God will establish an everlasting kingdom where we are right with God. How great is that we're given the opportunity to live in a kingdom with a perfect king who will never die or change. And to better understand this, what this will be like, imagine having the ultimate and perfect prime minister and knowing that he will never die or give up his position to someone else. So, how does this affect us now? Well, like Israel during the time of these prophets, we are sinners that deserve God's judgment. But even amongst that deserved judgment, even when we might feel far from God, there is a real and living hope for Christians. And that hope is the sure hope that God always keeps his promises. Sometimes God's promises that we read of in the Bible seem like they won't be fulfilled because they seem too grand, especially when we live in a world stained by sin. But this part of God's big story reminds us that there is a certain hope, even in the darkest times, because God always keeps his promises. And next week, we'll see God keep his promises in the darkest event in all of history, when Jesus died on the cross for me and you.
Well, welcome back, and thanks so much, Kurt. That was really amazing. Quickly, we got the winners for the trivia. Question 1, Angus Wheatley. Question 2, Tara Gotti. 3, Callum Heron. 4, Tara again. 5, Angus again. 6, Ryan Britt. 7, Elijah Dundas. And 8, Jock Faulkner. So that means we've got a two-way tie between Tara and Angus, so you're going to have to fight over the prize.
What is the prize?
I don't know.
An extended director's cut of Slate's talk.
Yeah.
With commentary.
Yeah.
How good was that, eh?
That's what I needed to hear on a Friday night.
Seriously,
you know?
legit. How good? I don't know. We had the 3 promises. I kind of forget that that's the whole way through, and Slade really brought that to light. Through the prophets and stuff. That was hectic, and just finishing it on Jesus. That's the be all end all of Christianity right there, is Jesus and his death making us right with God. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's right. And it's cool to see. Like, I know in my life, and I'm sure everyone else is like, this world isn't what creation is supposed to be, and it's cool that we can look forward to that kingdom that is prophesied and has come about through Jesus.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Thanks, Slade. Thanks, God, for the amazing word. So now I'm just going to pull up this sheet. We're done. We're done for tonight.
All done.
I'm talking the live part. We've got the better part right now, and that is discussion groups. So jump on a Zoom.
Yes.
Get yourself ready. Ez is going to be smashing us with some GeoGuessr.
Yeah, GeoGuessr.
We're doing Shire again.
Oh, yeah, Shire map. Yeah.
So put in the comments below what you think it's going to be in the Shire map. I reckon it's going to be Tom Ugly's Bridge. And maybe
Engadine Swamp.
Oh,
yeah.
I like that. That random Greek restaurant at Cronulla.
It's all shut down now.
Oh, heavy.
Yeah, rest in peace.
That sucks. Shark Park,
That's
maybe.
right. We still have Gyros though in Engadine, so that's as Greek as we need.
So we're done. Jump on a Zoom. All the stuff is below, and we didn't get to 75 likes. So sorry, Deb, my hair's staying.
Yeah. Can we get a compromise? Can you go down lower?
Yeah, if this gets 30 likes in the next 3 minutes. No,
30.
30
what
likes,
are
3
we
minutes. I won't shave it. I'll cut. I'll do it undercut. How does that sound? Yeah.
We'll do it. Yeah. Okay.
I'll get the back cut. So 30 likes, 3 minutes.
Clean.
Love you guys.